Hi, true avatars, and welcome to your weekly queer video game podcast. This is episode 60, and I am your host, Zoe Wild. I am a transgender and bisexual woman, and my pronouns are she, her. So, this week, once again, it's just me for the news. It's just me. And there's like a whole bunch of headlines. And I'm kind of flying by the seat of my pants this week on them. I just didn't have time to do show notes. So I'm just gonna, like, I've got kind of, I was kind of in tune with the news this week a little bit more, like reading everything. Like sometimes I see a headline and I'm like, oh, that seems relevant. I'll check that out when I go to write the show notes. But this week everything was like, oh, I was really interested in that to also like read it and kind of like digest it in the moment. So I'm gonna kind of go based off memory a little bit with my sources like pulled up. So anyway, let's see how it goes. But don't worry, I'll give you all my usual commentary. But some of the headlines actually are really, really exciting this week. So, and some of them are also miserable, but what can you do? Queer video game podcast, we're woke, Anyway, Steam revealed some brand new hardware this week, and I'm really excited about it because it is almost time for me to replace my PC. Anyway, I'll get into that. PlayStation had an Asian-focused state of play this week on like Asian-developed games. Also, there was news on the Mario Galaxy movie, which is coming out next April, I believe. There's a new Horizon game announced, but it's nothing like what you'd expect. I'll get into that later too. I don't want to spoil all the news. There were layoffs, of course. I think not as many as the week before. And there was also a follow-up on the Rockstar union busting news as well. Nothing too major either, but, Rockstar is up to their usual shenanigans, for lack of a meaner term that I feel comfortable using on the podcast. And then for this segment, I will be joined by Ekamy and Lloyd. And we are going to be talking about holiday sales, Black Friday deals, Christmas, holidays, everything. Because last year, me, Ekamy, and Amy Lynn did a podcast episode talking about basically the same thing, Queer Guide to Holiday Sales. And a lot of the stuff in that episode is now moot. Like, it's just like, so much has changed in literally 1 year. Like, when I recorded that episode, it was meant to be like, I can like link to this every holiday season and be like, here, look, there's a guide we like did, like, just like general etiquette, things to know, things to not, like, things to avoid. Just like general, like, sensibility for like navigating holiday sales for anyone who might want that kind of information. And like, so much of that information is like, so much stuff got like ended, things went up in price, like, just like, it's been a year. Also, can you guess what else happened last November where suddenly everything just shifted? So anyway, we're going to redo that kind of, all that information, and we'll go over, of course, if you listened to last year's episode or you just want to know what's changed in the last year, like we do go over what's changed and then we update you and then we kind of go through some of the same stuff as before, but just a little more updated and relevant. And we also have an American perspective as well, because I know like 50%, I think like it's like 33% of the podcast is Canadian listeners, and then 33% is American listeners, and then, very, Germany and UK heavy for the other 33%, but also that does lump in everyone else in the world as well. So anyway, it's still going to be a very North American focused guide, but, I think a lot of the information does apply to like everyone everywhere. So, and I'm also going to be talking about what I've been playing, before we jump into that segment where, Ekamy and Lloyd join me. So, before I jump into all of that, I do have some quick favors to ask of you, as I always do. If you like this podcast, please leave a comment, rating, or review on your preferred podcast platform. Spotify has ratings and comments, and Apple has reviews, and they don't have ratings or comments. It's weird. Anyway, all the platforms are weird. Engagement like comments and ratings and reviews does help me though. It helps me know what you think of the podcast, what you like, what you don't like. And it also helps to grow the podcast. Like, it helps with engagement, helps get with visibility of the podcast. Like, that's really mean. Every time I see like one like go up or one view go up on the podcast, or there's a review, like, it makes me really, really happy. And, it's affirming to know that people are listening and enjoying the podcast and engaging with it. And then that, of course, powers me forward to keep making more episodes, and then the podcast keeps growing. It's an infinite feedback loop of more growth and more happiness. So please go leave a comment, rating, or review. And also, if you're watching the video version on YouTube, and yes, I would like to remind everyone that there's a video version on YouTube. I know some people are still listening to the audio version on YouTube. This week, a couple weeks ago, I actually not delisted, but like made them all unlisted and put them into a playlist, the audio only versions, because I was hoping that would drive more people to the video version, but that actually just meant I got less views on the podcast. So I stopped doing that. I put them all back so if you're listening on YouTube, that's like totally fine. But, if you are watching the video version though, or you're just like listening to the audio version on YouTube, because there's two separate like video like files for those, because it also uploads from the, Podbean page. Anyway, all that is to say is that please like this episode on YouTube, leave a comment, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button as well as the notification bell so you're the first to know when a new episode or a new video drops. I hope at some point when my life is less zany, I will be able to make some more video content as well. But for now, it is just the podcast. And I'm enjoying that too. But I would really like to, someday in the future, I'm going to grow this podcast beyond just a podcast. I would like to make video content. I'd like to write articles. This is something that I'm very passionate about and I very much enjoy. But I have a full-time job and it takes up a lot of time. And some days it's a job I enjoy, but also it is sometimes draining to just like, cause like a lot of the stuff I do at work is also stuff I do for the podcast. Like it's very, like this week at work, I was literally editing other people's podcasts as part of my job. So, you get to the end of your week and you're like, oh, it's my time for my podcast that makes me happy, but also I'm very tired from editing podcasts all week. Anyway, this few quick favors, not so quick, eh? Anyway, you can also follow the podcast, True Avatars, a queer video game podcast on social media. There are accounts on Blue Sky, Instagram, Twitter, Threads, Facebook, and TikTok. Again, the TikTok is still barren and I'm so sorry, but please follow us there. So eventually, when there's content there, you can see it. And you can also find the podcast on the official website, trueavatarspodcast.com. That's all one word, trueavatarspodcast.com. And remember, this is a weekly queer video game podcast. So check in every week. I'm going to bring you news, updates, and interviews, discussions that are relevant to queer gamers. So you have a safe space to check in on the world of gaming from a 2S LGBTQIA+ lens. Okay, so I'm going to talk about what I've been playing now. And it's basically been one game. I pretty much as soon as last week, as soon as we finished recording that podcast and I finished editing it, I jumped right back into Hyrule Warriors because I don't know if anyone remembers, but I was fighting, a boss right before I started recording that episode. And I was really itching to get back to that boss and fight that boss. And I was playing on hard mode because I found normal difficulty way too easy, which is the default standard difficulty when you boot up the game. It's like, it tells you can select whatever you want, but it starts at normal. So I chose normal because I think that's how I played, Age of Calamity, which is the previous Hyrule Warriors game. And this is Age of Imprisonment to be specific. So I set it down to, normal difficulty and I was like wiping the floor with all the enemies, all the bosses. And then I got to this really hard boss that I was having trouble with. And I finally beat the boss pretty easily, actually. Like I barely took any damage. So I think there's like, not only did I hit that difficulty spike, which I was anticipating, but much earlier than I was anticipating, but like hard mode wasn't like hard in the sense that like there was more, it was a little more challenging with the enemies and the way they were like fighting back, but mostly it was the fact that they were kind of damage sponges. Like I feel like I just couldn't damage enough. And like I was just eventually like I was getting whittled away myself. And by the time I got to that last boss, I'd used all my health, like my potions, like your health boosts, and I had barely any hearts left. So like I just kept getting killed. And so, the difference between normal and hard, which are just like literally that's the next step up from normal to hard. Like it's like a huge difference. And I feel like there should be another difficulty in between normal and hard because I feel like the difference is just way too absurd. At least for that boss anyway. So I did beat that boss eventually and, kind of stopped there at that point because I was just like, wow, I don't really know how to proceed with this because I'm not really enjoying normal. It's too easy, but hard is too hard. Anyway, I don't really know what to do. If anyone has any advice, if you've played the rest of the game and you're like, hey Zoe, it's just that one boss. The rest of the game is like, go back to hard mode or just keep it on normal because it just keeps getting harder. Like, just like, let me know, I guess, if you're playing the game. So, I've been starting a lot of video games that I haven't been able to finish lately. And I'm hoping over the holidays, I'm going to have a lot more time to kind of dive into a lot more of these games and talk about them more in depth. The Pokemon DLC is coming out and I'm like, I've never not finished a Pokemon game before DLCs come out. And this is the first time I haven't gotten far enough to play the DLC. And as much as I want Chimecho to get a proper evolution, I also really, really want to play as I really want to get a Mega Chimecho and battle with a Mega Chimecho and fight what I assume is probably going to be a level 100 Rayquaza or level 200 Rayquaza. Anyway, there's a bunch of video games I've started specifically so I could talk about them on the podcast with other people, and I just haven't been able to finish them. I'm really bad at backlogs. So sorry. But that's basically what I've been playing. So I'm going to jump into the news. Okay, so for the news, the first headline I have here is that there is new Steam hardware coming. So if you are familiar, about a decade ago, Steam released a controller. They released a home console, basically something you could put onto your TV that was more of a walled garden than just having a PC, but still less of a walled garden than like PS5, Nintendo Switch. And all that is to say is that basically it's like something dedicated where you can kind of set it up and just like play right out of the box. You don't have to do any like tinkering, but also the Steam hardware also still allows you to do some of that tinkering. You just don't have to do it to get set up like you would with your PC. That's all I mean by walled garden. Anyway, so they really had a Steam controller and a Steam machine about a decade ago, and then that didn't really do very well, as far as I know, from what I've heard from friends and stuff. And then a few years ago, they released the Steam Deck, and I love my Steam Deck, actually. It's a great little piece of hardware. It's basically a Nintendo Switch, but for your PC games, for anyone who doesn't know. And so I think they also released a few years ago some Steam VR stuff. Anyway, this week, they basically announced they're making a brand new Steam machine, and it looks exactly like a GameCube, but sans the handle. They are doing a new Steam controller, which is basically the Steam Deck controller, like the controllers around the Steam Deck, but without the screen. So like it even has the trackpads, the back buttons, everything looks really nice. And I don't know how comfortable it's going to be, but I mean, I don't think anything could top the DualSense on the PS5. Like I think that's the most comfortable and most well-designed controller, but if anything can come close, it's probably the Steam controller that they're doing. And they're also bringing out like a new VR headset called the Steam Frame. Again, I'm not really sure what Valve is doing with their VR specifically. I haven't looked into it too much, but I feel like there was like a Valve Index or something from a few years ago, so I'm not sure what the frame is to the Index or what the difference is. But anyway, the Steam Deck's already available, obviously, but the controller, the machine, the Steam machine, which is the console that goes under your TV, and the Steam Frame, which is again the VR headset. This is all supposed to be coming in early 2026. There is no date yet. There are no pre-orders. We don't have price actually either. We know I think Digital Foundry did a whole video talking about kind of like what their experience was like with it, but we don't really know a whole lot of like confirmed hard facts. They just kind of announced this and effed off. So hopefully in the next week or so, I'm hearing rumors that there's more announcements coming. I don't know how true that is. I'm not even going to link to them as a source because I literally don't know, but hopefully very soon we can order it. I hope also that they learned from the Steam Deck pre-orders because, I got my pre-order in for the Steam Deck half an hour after they went live, and it was only half an hour later because the website was like gunked up with like traffic. And just put it into weird words, obviously, but I really do hope that they figured that out, and anyone who wants one can get one, and they can get it shipped like not wait almost a year to get their Steam Deck or their Steam machine and controller. I'm personally hoping there's a bundle with the controller and the machine. I'm supposed to be getting a new PC soon, or I was thinking about buying a new PC, just upgrading all the parts and stuff like that. And I really don't like gaming on my PC. It's like, it has nothing to do with like the PC itself. It just has to do with the fact that I like sit at my desk or a desk all day editing videos and stuff like for work. Or even like just the podcast, right? Like, and I enjoy editing the podcast, but also the podcast is still sitting at a desk and doing like a different kind of work, right? And so at the end of the day, like I like my handhelds because I can play video games in bed. I like my consoles because I can play in front of the TV on the couch. I can sit with my pets, right? So, all that is to say is that I like the idea of having my PC under my TV. I think that sounds amazing. And yeah, I can move my PC to my TV, but it's kind of a pain to set up. So I'm really hopeful that the Steam machine is going to be something worthy of what I'm hoping it is, basically. Like, I hope it's powerful enough to play most games. I hope it works in such a way. I know you can hook up a mouse and keyboard to it. I'm hoping it works in such a way that I will be able to play most indie games for the podcast as well. That would be really cool, if everything is just like out of the box compatible with it. But I think I read that they're going to have, like the Steam Deck verified thing, they're going to have a Steam machine verified aspect as well. So I don't know if that everything is just going to work out of the box like that, but you would hope that like, because it's just a PC that goes under your TV, most things would work. And it's just like a matter of like performance, not so much like compatibility. Like, how good can you make the game look? Anyway. And I have zero interest in the VR stuff. Like, it kind of makes me, like, I like the idea of VR, but it kind of makes me sick to my stomach to play for longer than like 20 minutes. I'm waiting for the Sword Art Online level VR where it's just like hooked up to your brain and I'm a vegetable on the couch. And I'm like moving around in a game. Obviously, hopefully not the Sword Art Online level of like, oh no, you can't escape this game and you're trapped here forever level of Sword Art Online. I just mean like, I don't have to physically move my body in real life. I can move my body in a virtual space, and hopefully Nintendo can make, or Game Freak can make like a good Pokemon game, and I can retire on a ranch full of Magnemites. Like that one episode from Orange Islands. That's like the dream, is like to just be that dude. obviously girl version of it, but like the dude who's just like traveling from town to town with his magnemites. That sounds awesome. That's like a great retirement plan. So Game Freak, please get on the VR stuff. It would be fantastic. Anyway, I'm going to move on now, because this next piece of news is also pretty big, because it's a bunch of little pieces of news. Not so little, actually, but PlayStation had a State of Play, which is basically their version of Nintendo Direct, if you don't know. And it was focused on games being developed in Asia, specifically Japan, but also broader Asia as well. And so they had a bunch of cool stuff to talk about. Queer games too, actually. Lots of stuff in here that, like, by the podcast definition of queer games, like, is queer, and also some like legitimately queer stuff. So, first up, I'm kind of going out of order a little bit here, but they did announce that Elden Ring Night Reign is getting DLC. So Elden Ring Night Reign is the multiplayer, Elden Ring experience. And it's called The Forsaken Shadows. And I watched the trailer, but I didn't understand anything that was going on. It was like, yeah, it's a Dark Souls game. Like, it's a Souls game. Like, sure. But it's coming December 4th. It's called The Forsaken Hollows. I assume it's coming to every platform that the game is available on. Coffee Talk Tokyo has a release date. It was originally due for this year, although by the time you get to the fall, a game as big as Coffee Talk Tokyo hasn't announced a release date. It's probably not coming this year. So as I expected, it is delayed, kind of delayed, not really, but it's coming out March 5th, 2026. And this is the third game in the Coffee Talk series. I don't know if it's technically considered game 3 or if it's just like the next game in the series and it's a bit of a spin-off, but it looks like more of the same, but set in Japan. Don't mean that to belittle it. It's just like, if you've played Coffee Talk, you know exactly what you're getting into. It's just more Japan themed, because I think the first 2 games were set in Seattle. Another game that I've been tracking very modestly here is called Broken Lore Unfollow. I might have mentioned it in the podcast before, at least briefly anyway, but it is a horror game. It has the LGBTQ plus tag on Steam, and it is also coming to PS5. I was very surprised to see it here, because when I saw the name, I was like, I'm pretty sure this game is like, not only is it like, it might be queer, but like it has straight up has the queer tag on Steam. So, and it does, I double checked. Reading from this is from the subtitles of the PlayStation State of Play here. Broken Lore Unfollow, a first-person horror game that shines a spotlight on the darker side of social media. Awaken as Anne in a strange and unsettling house. To escape, you'll need to confront past traumas and lingering spirits, using only your smartphone as you search for the way out. Broken Lore Unfollow launches January 16th, 2026. And they also announced that there's another game coming next summer, I believe, called Broken Lore Ascend. I checked both on Steam. Broken Lore Ascend does not have the LGBTQ plus tag, but Broken Lore Unfollow, which is the social media game I just read the description for, does. And that comes out January 16, 2026. And it's coming to at least PS5 and PC. I didn't check to see if there's other platforms. I probably should have. And also we don't know in what way the game is queer, just that it has the LGBTQ plus tag on Steam. And I've now said the LGBTQ plus acronym like a billion times now. I'm going to go back to saying queer because it's shorter and easier on my poor mouth. Just taking a sip of water here. They also announced that the Pac-Man World 2 repack DLC, the Sonic the Hedgehog DLC, is out now. I didn't watch the showcase, the State of Play on the day it aired, it streamed. I watched it a bit later. And so I booted up Pac-Man World 2 repack just to play it. I saw the DLC was like out. Like Sonic just burst out of my screen. It's like, hey, I'm here. And I'm like, okay, let's try it out. Didn't love it. Didn't hate it. It was fine. I think if you like Pac-Man World 2 or you like Sonic gameplay, like I think this is kind of like a weird mix of both of those styles of gameplay. Again, I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it either. I only played the first level, and it was really long for even like a Pac-Man, like, or a Spyro. KO the Kangaroo also has really long levels, and like I felt this was pretty long for even those levels. So, which I guess is good, but also like I was expecting something a little bit shorter. It definitely doesn't feel like something that would have been developed back in like 2002 when the Pac-Man World 2 originally came out. Like it definitely feels like something newer. Yeah, I wasn't big on it, but I already pre-ordered the digital deluxe edition, which came with it. So like it was already kind of in there. Apparently you fight Robotnik in the 3rd level, like Dr. Eggman. I haven't gotten that far yet. Like I just played the first level and there was like stuff that I literally couldn't. I know the original version of the game so well that like when there was new content, I was kind of like, I don't know how to do this. It was a little alienating, but that's my own problem. Also, speaking of Sonic Racing Crossworlds is adding Knights. I think that's the character's name, from Nights into Dreams, the playable character from Nights into Dreams, which Amy Lynn has raved about on this podcast multiple times. So that character is now a raceable character in Sonic Racing Crossworlds as free DLC. So if you just boot up the game, I'm pretty sure she will download and just be there for you. Or they will be there. I'm not sure. Knights is pronouns. I feel like she, her. But anyway. And SpongeBob's, there's SpongeBob paid DLC coming as well. And that comes out November 20th. Which if you're listening to the podcast the week this comes out, I think that is Thursday. I want to say Thursday. I'm doing some math in my head. Yeah, this Thursday, November 20th. Then they announced a game called Nevergrave, The Witch and the Curse. And this is not a queer game, but I feel like there's a lot of stuff in here that's going to scratch the itch of a lot of queer gamers because it is a roguelike. It is a Metroidvania. It is about a witch. And it also has some Super Mario Odyssey style gameplay where the witch's hat can be used to actually like control enemies, just like in Mario Odyssey. Except it's obviously a 2D Metroidvania roguelike platformer thing. And it also has co-op up to 4 players. So I feel like this is going to check, some of those elements are going to check boxes of many different gamers. And it comes out March 5th, 2026. Again, this game is called Nevergrave, The Witch and the Curse. It looks like it has a charming art style and has really, really nice string-based music. I don't know if this is something I'm going to play, but it looks really cool. It looks really, really cool. I'm very tempted actually, but I have there's other Metroidvanias I want to get to first. There are other roguelikes I want to get to first, like Hades 2. So this is not at the top of my list, but it does look really good. So check it out if this sounds interesting to you. And another queer game that was not confirmed to be queer, but it's from a series with queer characters, and it's Blaze Blue. And the game is Blaze Blue Entropy Effect X, which I think is like a follow-up or sequel to another Entropy Effect game from the Blaze Blue series. I know nothing about Blaze Blue, so you're gonna have to forgive me here when I tell you nothing about it, other than the fact that I looked it up, and apparently there are queer characters in the game, in the series, like confirmed queer characters and a lot of suspected queer characters. So this comes out February 12th. It's also coming to Switch 1 and Xbox Series, so PS5, Switch 1, Xbox Series, X and S. And that's Blaze Blue Entropy Effect X. And then Marvel Tokon Fighters, whatever that game. I don't remember the full name of that game, but the Marvel fighting game they're doing, like the Japanese styled like Marvel fighting game. It's getting a closed beta that you can sign up for. I didn't see any information for how you can sign up for it, but in the state of play, they're like, you can sign up for this. I was like, oh, okay. Anyway, that is happening the first week of December if you want to try to sign up and try your luck at getting into that, if that is something that interests you. I think they're adding Spider-Man and Ghost Rider as playable characters as well. And I think it's the Robbie Reyes Ghost Rider, not the one Johnny Cage is the other Ghost Rider, I think. The one that Nicolas Cage played in the movie. I think the Robbie Reyes one was featured on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. recently too. So if you want to know who that character is, just flipped my hair in my face there. You can check out one of the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. seasons. I feel like it was season 4. That's where I tapped out of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., by the way. I was just like, I was too much Marvel at that point, you know? Just gonna take another sip of water because I am monologuing. So this next piece of news comes from The Verge, although there are a bunch of different sources here. So I picked this source because they kind of broke the story a little bit. And it was also like a good, well-informed source, and it was in English. But Horizon is getting, this is Horizon Zero Dawn, that series, is getting a new MMORPG. It's called Horizon Steel Frontiers, and I'm reading from the article here from The Verge. The new game is called Horizon Steel Frontiers, and Sony and the Korean video game company NCSoft are working on the cross-platform title together for PC, iOS, and Android. It will be free to play according to the game's website. Based on the more than 10-minute announcement video, which features a mix of cinematic and pre-alpha gameplay footage, as well as developer interviews, the game will focus strongly on fighting the Horizon series' giant mechanical beasts and being able to do so with other people. The article I linked also includes the video, so if you're interested in the announcement, you can check it out there. This is not something that interests me, but it's cool that there is something. The thing that's weird to me about this, though, is that, like, Sony's making this MMO Horizon game, which is, like, in and of itself pretty cool. But also, like, it's not coming to PS5, which is just strange to me. Like, even if it's a mobile game, like, wouldn't you want it to come to... And also, I think they announced another game this week that's also mobile only for Ratchet and Clank. Like, there might have been a PS5 version of that. I didn't check. Actually, let me see here. Ratchet and Clank mobile game. I'm sorry that I'm typing while doing this. I try not to do that too much, so I'm very sorry, especially to audio listeners. It's called Ranger Rumble. Trying to find here. a good source that has all the information. Bear with me. Okay, so Ranger Rumble, it's coming to mobile. Yeah, okay. Let me add that to my list of sources here so I know to include it in the show notes. If you want to read more of it, I have the source from IGN here. You just bear with me here. Sorry. Okay, so yeah, it's just weird that Sony is releasing all these mobile games in the same week too, like announcing these 2 mobile games that are, I don't think have release dates yet. Yeah, I don't see a date here. Yeah, no date. I guess it's just coming soon. But yeah, it's weird they announced 2 mobile games for like pretty big popular PlayStation exclusive franchises and they're not coming to a PlayStation console. It's actually strange that the Horizon MMORPG is coming to PC, but the Ratchet & Clank game is not coming to PC. So, weird. Anyway, I don't understand. Okay, this next piece of news comes from Video Games Chronicle, and this is a follow-up on the Rockstar news. So, basically, the union at Rockstar issued a legal claim against GTA 6 dev Rockstar. Reading from the article here. Now IWGB, the union, says it's issued a legal claim against Rockstar for unfairly dismissing staff for union activity and blacklisting its members. They said in a statement, "We are representing employees who were dismissed by Rockstar Games in circumstances that we believe amount to victimization and collective dismissal linked to trade union activity." I'm glad they're following through on this, to be honest. It's important. I hope they give them what for, you know? Like, I don't think that, like, I just hate when things like this happen, when unions are abused, staff is abused. Like, again, I parrot this every time, but like, the reason any workers, like, as workers, human beings right now, that when you go to work anywhere, that you have any kind of rights, even if you hate your job or you are not treated well there, the only reason you have any protections at all is because of unions. So, like, remember that, like, when you're, like, complaining about a job, that, like, a company that you don't like, here in Canada, we have Canada Post, and people are getting really upset with Canada Post because they don't like what's going on with it, and people are drinking the Kool-Aid when it comes to the anti-union sentiment in the press with it. And I just think, like, sure, you can be mad at the union, you can be mad at the company, but, like, also, like, you should also be wanting better for the workers anyway, like, no matter what you feel about the union. So, anyway, I really do hope that Rockstar sees the light and they change their tune, whether they have to be sued or they just come around for it. It really bothers me because they just keep dropping news that's probably meant to distract from this. So, if you're excited about any of this news related to Rockstar's games, like, I'm happy that you're, like, getting game announcements that you enjoy, but also, like, remember that, like, they're also kind of being a bad company right now, and we need to remember that too. So, obviously, I'm not your mom. You make your own decisions. You do what you want to do, but just try to keep stuff in mind. So there were layoffs this week as well. Tomb Raider developer Crystal Dynamics announces yet more layoffs, and I'm reading here from another Video Games Chronicle article. Announcing the news on Thursday, the studio said that around 30 people across various departments and projects have lost their jobs as it, quote, restructures the company and business for our next generation, unquote. Continuing from the article here, the studio claimed the cuts had come as part of a reorganization designed to optimize the continued development of our flagship Tomb Raider game, as well as reshaping the rest of the studio to make new games for the future. And looks like they go on to thank people they laid off for their incredible talent. It looks like hard work and dedication, like, Jeebus. I mean, I'm glad I guess they're being grateful, but you also laid off 30 people. Just gonna take a sip of water here. Like, please, I don't know if this is sincere at all. Like, are you helping people get other jobs at other studios? It does say they are committed to offering their fullest resources and support during this transition. Again, that probably remains to be seen. So let's move on to some happier news, though, because I don't really have too much to say about layoffs at this point that I haven't already said. Like, I hope the employees laid off land on their feet. I hope layoffs stop, but it seems to me like every week at this point this year, like, I think there's been very few weeks on this podcast where I haven't talked about layoffs. And that breaks my heart. It breaks my heart. Because the more layoffs there are, that means the less jobs there are in this industry. And how many people are just, like, laid off, like, indefinitely and they haven't found something because there's nowhere else to go. So it's really, really heartbreaking. So I'm going to move on to some happier news though. Nintendo announced, Nintendo had a direct for the Super Mario Galaxy movie. So there's no video game news, but they did show off the first trailer and some casting and new characters for the upcoming Mario Galaxy movie, which I think is due out, April 2026. Weirdly, here in the description, they don't actually mention the exact date. They just say April 2026. But I guess that's because different regions have slightly different dates of the week that it comes out. But anyway, the trailer was pretty cool. There was like some like softer versions of Mario Galaxy music in it. We saw Rosalina, who is being played by Brie Larson, who's like always been like a huge big Nintendo fan. So I love her too. Like she's like an awesome actor. And I know she got a lot of crap for everything that she said around misogyny relating to Captain Marvel, but I liked both those movies, especially the second one. I really like, is her name Teyonah Parris? Is that the actress's name who plays, Proton? And also I really like she's Canadian. I'm blanking on her name, but she plays Ms. Marvel as well. I love Ms. Marvel. I loved that show, and I really liked Captain Marvel too, The Marvels. I thought it was a really, really good movie, and I will die on that hill. I don't care that it's, there's so much superhero slop as they're calling it. I thought that movie was really good, and I'm really sad that it bombed because I think it only bombed because of misogyny. I legitimately think that because I think the movie was really good. So anyway, so I'm happy to see Brie Larson, this big video game nerd, that she's going to be in this movie and playing Rosalina. I think it's perfect casting for Rosalina. And also they revealed that Bowser Jr. is in the movie, played by someone whose name Benny Safdie, I think again, I've seen Benny Safdie in a number of things. I've seen Benny Safdie in his brother's movies, but I don't really think about him that much when it comes to like I just would not have ever pegged him as playing Bowser Jr. I'm not gonna lie, this has nothing to do with the actor playing him, but I was really excited to see Bowser Jr. because he had the mask and he pulled out the paintbrush in the trailer for Mario Sunshine and then didn't immediately transform into the Shadow Mario from Mario Sunshine. And I'm very sad that the Mario Sunshine erasure continues. I'm really sad that they skipped over Mario Sunshine. I think Mario Sunshine is my favorite game. I don't care that it's not everyone's favorite, but I like the vibes, I like the aesthetic, I like the world, I like the story, I like the gameplay, I like everything about it. I'm very nostalgic for it. I'm very, very heartbroken again that a lot of heartbreak today that, although this heartbreak doesn't compare to the layoffs, I want to make that clear, but I'm really, really sad that again, the Mario Sunshine erasure just continues, but this movie looks really, really good. It was also weird though that we didn't actually get to hear Rosalina and Bowser Jr. speak in the trailer. That was strange that they went to all this trouble to we got other extra, excuse me. We got extra scenes from the movie out of it because they didn't reveal the voices in the trailer. But it also seems weird to me that like Rosalina basically didn't speak except for like one kind of battle cry in the trailer. And I don't think Bowser Jr. spoke at all. In fact, I don't remember if he was in the trailer proper, but I know there's a scene where he does come to rescue his dad, who's still mini for some reason, because in this world, for some reason, this one mushroom worked forever on Bowser. Unless it's only been 5 minutes since the end of the previous movie, but it doesn't seem that way. I'm not going to spoil the rest of the trailer. Go check out the direct. Go check out the trailer. It looks really good. I hope this sequel to the Mario movie has more of a story, because the last one really didn't have much of a story. Like, it had a premise, but like things happened and then things didn't get resolved and we moved on and then new things happened and things didn't get resolved and it's a mess of a movie. I'm much more excited for the Legend of Zelda movie, but this Mario Galaxy movie looks super adorable too. So even if it's not great, at least we'll get some nice adorable Mario stuff out of it. So, okay, 2 more pieces of news. Bear with me here. I'm just gonna take a quick sip of water again. So Death Stranding is getting an animated series called Death Stranding Isolations, and it's coming to Disney Plus in 2027. And it looks like Kojima Productions is making it themselves, which means Kojima has a hand in it. This news comes from, this comes from VGC. Hideo Kojima is set to executive produce the show, which will be directed by Takayuki Sano, who worked on Attack on Titan, the final season, Dragon Ball Z, Battle of Gods, and Jujutsu Kaisen 0, the movie. And character design is being handled by Ilya Kuvshinov. Sorry if I mispronounced that, who previously created the character designs for Ghost in the Shell SAC 2045. I've never seen that version of Ghost in the Shell. But I'm one of those sickos that likes the live action one. Not because it's good, but because there's lots of interesting sci-fi ideas in it. And I like Prometheus for the same reason. Not because it's good, but because any sci-fi movie that like touches on like subjects that aren't normally touched on in sci-fi movies or bring up interesting like theories and like questions in my brain, like I like them a lot, even if they're like terrible movies. So Yeah, this is pretty cool. If you want to watch another show about walking, this is for you. I actually don't know if it's going to be about that. Oh, actually, there's a little thing here about. Sorry, I'm bearing the lead here. It looks like it focuses on a young man and woman who have yet to be officially named. Reading from the article here. Somewhere in North America, just as Sam Bridges walks through the continent in order to save America, the someones are also trying to deal with their isolation in their own way, the show's synopsis reads. An old man trying to realize salvation through ways outside of the connection advocated by Bridges. A female warrior who tries to kickstart a world of constant fighting, a boy with a grudge against Bridges, a girl who embraces loneliness. On the precipice of the end of humanity and the world, their fates and hopes converge as another story of Death Stranding begins, and now comes another explosion. I have not played Death Stranding. I have no idea what's being described here, so I'm going to leave it to listeners who know. Fill in those blanks, and if you want to also leave a comment, a message, whatever, telling me hey Zoe, actually, this is what you need to know. I don't expect anyone to do that. I'm just letting you know that if you're about to rage type, Zoe, how can you not know about Death Stranding? Just tell me. Excited to hear from you and people who are passionate about games that they love, of course. Okay, last article here. This is super short. I'm not as invested in this as other people are. I'm just waiting for Oblivion to go down in price before I kind of maybe consider jumping in. Probably not before Baldur's Gate, though. Did you know there's a lot of games? Anyway, this also comes from Video Games Chronicle, but it's been 7 years since Elder Scrolls 6 was announced, and apparently Todd Howard says it is still a long way off. No time frame was given, but I'd have to guess, given that the same team that is making Elder Scrolls 6 just finished, or is just finishing, I think, whatever that other game was. Oh my god, I can't remember the name of it. It's probably in the article, let's hope. The space game they made. I'm seriously blanking on it. It's not even in the article. Anyway, that team was probably working on that space game that came out a couple of years ago in the DLC. So they're probably not full throttle on Elder Scrolls 6 until after this is done. That game is done. Which means, if it takes as long as the space game did, which I think started development, also 7 or 8 years ago, I don't think we're seeing Elder Scrolls 6 till, the early 2030s. Which is also when I think we're going to see the next Zelda game, which I think is going to break a lot of people's hearts as well. But I think the next Zelda game is a long time away. A game that reused assets for Tears of the Kingdom. Tears of the Kingdom reused a lot of Breath of the Wild's assets, and that game still took longest of any. It took longer than Breath of the Wild did to make. So if they're making a brand new game from the ground up on a system that is now 4K, supporting higher frame rates, and they have to now take time to get used to that kind of development, like Nintendo did with HD when they jumped to HD, I think probably the earliest is going to be 2029, but I think that's the absolute earliest. That's 6 years to make the game. That's how long Tears of the Kingdom took, was 6 years. I think 2030 is a realistic date, but I think 2031 or 2032. Heck, honestly, the next Zelda game could be another Breath of the Wild or Twilight Princess situation where it takes so long it becomes a cross-platform game. I hope not, because I would hope their Switch 2 gets its own dedicated game. As we know, whenever there's a Zelda game that's cross-gen, there's always something weird about one of the versions, so I hope it's not the case, but I guess we'll see. Anyway, I went on a tangent about Zelda when I was supposed to be talking about Elder Scrolls 6. So, anyway, Elder Scrolls 6 is a long ways away, but obviously we got Oblivion Remastered recently. It looks like VGC is also saying there might be a remaster of Fallout 3 on the way. We know that New Vegas is going to be left untouched for a bit. At least a sequel to it from last week's news. So, anyway, that's the news. Yeah, let me know what you thought of all those headlines. If there's something you're really excited for. I'm really, really excited about the Steam Machine. I'm really, really excited about the Steam Machine. And, yeah, I hope, I don't know what I hope. I hope it's a good console. I hope it's powerful enough to run all the games that are in my backlog, so I can play them on my TV when I don't want to play them handheld. Also, I think it would be really, really cool if they could do this, but make it so the Steam Deck can be a second screen like the Wii U with the Steam Machine. I think that'd be awesome. Don't know if that's something they're planning to do or even thinking about. Just something I've a pie in the sky wish list thing. Cause also, I guess, it'd be like the GameCube and the Wii U in one, in a way. Anyway, that's the news. Thanks for bearing with me. I'm going to take a short break, and after this musical interlude, I will be back on with Ekamy and Lloyd to talk about a queer game to holiday sales, Redux. Hi, true avatars, and welcome back from the break. With me is Ekamy. Ekamy is a pansexual woman whose pronouns are she, her. She can be found on Twitch streaming games, cooking, and book club. How are you, Ekamy?
Doing good. A little tired. Doing good.
It's a late Tuesday night. I don't know why we're doing this on Tuesday night. I don't know who scheduled this time, so...
Could it have been Zoe?
Actually, no, I think it was you and Lloyd. Anyway, also here's Lloyd Lloydster. Lloyd is a trans man who streams a wide variety of games on Twitch. Lloyd's pronouns are he, him. How are you, Lloyd?
I'm good. I think I've been tired every time you've introduced me, but that will stay consistent. But I'm here. I'm good. I'm happy to be here.
That's good. All right, well, I am moderately happy to be here. So, no, I'm kidding. I'm happy to be here. Let me just fix my screen here with all my notes. Yeah. I'm trying to do this podcast by looking at the camera as if I'm talking to audience, but I realize most podcasters literally never look at the camera. So I'm like, it's fine if I look off screen.
Yeah.
Anyway, so for anyone listening, we, as I'm sure I will introduce when I record the other half of this episode later in the week, we were talking about like holiday sales, like Black Friday is coming up, Christmas is coming up, all the holidays are coming up, so all the discounts, all the holiday shopping people are going to be doing to give gifts and just for themselves or whatever. So it's a good time, like, and also video games go on sale a lot during this time. So I thought it would be a good idea to do a quick, not a quick, but like a queer holiday spending guide, you know, just like habits, things to look out for, things to know. And we did one of these last year. You, me, Ekamy, we did one. And Amy Lynn was on with us as well last year. But I thought this year I would get Lloyd on instead. Not because we don't like Amy Lynn. We love Amy Lynn. But Lloyd brings an American point of view to this. And I know we have some American listeners and viewers as well. So, and also, the reason we're redoing this Redux version of the episode is that since we've done that episode last year, I was just going to keep linking to it every year and be like, here's a good guide for queer people to reference for buying games and having good spending habits and things to look out for. No. See, everything has changed in the last year. So you see, the world has gone to hell in a handbasket. And that includes video games too. So like a bunch of the stuff we actually talked about in last year's episode, I didn't even anticipate. Like all that stuff is gone. Like loyalty programs have gone. I'm actually going to get into that. But anyway, before we dive in, does anyone have any like thoughts, prefaces, things they want to just say before we dive right into it?
I'm glad that you're re-recording this because all the things that I started researching that I was sure was still a thing are not a thing. So yeah.
Okay, that's good. So it's probably going to be the case for a lot of people who are like, because like some people might not even be noticing these things until it comes to like holiday shopping. And like, it's like when you leave like a hobby for a couple of years, then you come back and you're like, why isn't everything the way it used to be? Like if anyone left Pokemon cards 2 years ago and came back today, they'd be lost. We're not going to talk about Pokemon cards too much today or at all, but you know, that hobby has gone to hell in a handbasket as well. So. Anyway, yeah, so I'm just going to kind of go over everything that has changed. So if you listen to last year's episode or you just want like a good like little guide about like things that are not the same anymore, everything has gone up in price this year. Like pretty much everything across the board has gone up in price. Very few, if it hasn't gone up in price, it definitely hasn't gone down. So all the major consoles, Nintendo Switch, Nintendo Switch 2 launched this year, but it launched at a high price. But Nintendo Switch 1, the Xbox Series S and X, all versions, the PS5, the PS5 Pro, the PS5 Slim, all that stuff has gone up in price this year. If not once, more than once. Like I said, the base price of the Nintendo Switch 2 is significantly higher than, the base price for the Nintendo Switch 2 games has also like basically caused every other game to shoot up in price. So whereas games in Canada used to be like Nintendo games used to be 80 Canadian and PlayStation and Xbox games used to be $90 Canadian, everything is kind of going up in price. Older games haven't really shot up the same way, but newer games launching have like gone up from 90 to 100. In Nintendo's case, 80 have gone up from 80 to 85, and new games are 90 to 100 to 110 to 115, depending on what you're buying. Like if you want Tears of the Kingdom on Switch 2, specifically that version, it is $115, I believe, before tax. I think it's $115. I think.
Yeah.
So anyway, all that is to say is like everything's kind of gone up in price, pretty much everywhere around the world, and if it hasn't, congratulations. You're in a place where things haven't increased in price, but I think with the way things are going, prices are not going to decrease the way they used to, at least. But obviously, there's still going to be sales.
Yeah, no, it's funny. You were saying that everything, and then you corrected yourself, and you're like, oh, the Switch 2 just came out. Technically, that had a price increase, right? Like, they released a price, paused pre-orders while they were like, wait a second. And
that's
then
true, yeah. I buried that. That was traumatic. I had to bury that information in my brain. I didn't, to be honest, as a consumer and as like a queer person and just as someone who generally considers herself moderately woke, I don't know if I feel like I am pretty woke, but I feel like by some people's standards I'm not super woke, but like I genuinely did not want to support the Nintendo Switch 2, but also I'm a whore for Nintendo. So like I had to have it. I'm mad that Mario Kart was overpriced. I'm mad that they said we would find out why Mario Kart was overpriced. They said it would be worth it. It wasn't. That is something to note, actually. I didn't note this in my notes, but like, if you want to get a cheaper Switch 2 game with your Switch, Pokemon Legends EA and Mario Kart World can both be found bundled in. It's a digital copy, and you won't be able to like resell it or whatever, because I think it comes like, unless it's a certain version of the release, for the most part, it is like pre-installed on the console, but you can save, I think, in the US, you can save $30, and in Canada, you can save $40 buying the bundle with the game included. You won't save on the console, but you'll save on the game, and that's a way you can get those games cheaper if that is something you want. Instead of buying the Switch 2 by itself, and then going to buy the cartridge of the game, or going to buy it digitally later. The best way to do that is to buy the console with the game bundled in. But anyway, if no one has anything else to add, or has nothing else to add, I will keep going with the stuff that we have lost this year, because the list goes on. All right. So loyalty programs have ended as well. Not too many of them. I mentioned a bunch last year. I think I've maybe forgotten last year's episode to mention Nintendo Gold Points. I can't remember. There was a loyalty program I forgot to mention. But Nintendo Gold Points, which is like earning 5% cash back on all your purchases, as gold points. And each point is worth a cent, like a penny. You add up enough of them, and you can basically spend them how you like on games on the Nintendo eShop. Those ended in March. You can't earn them. You can't, if you have any left, you can spend them, but I think after a year they expire anyway. So as of next March, if you haven't spent yours, they will disappear forever. So that's gone, unfortunately. And also PlayStation Stars, which was very similar. You could earn collectibles and stuff through PlayStation Stars, but also every time you made a purchase, you earned points. And eventually, I think if you got 3,500 points, it was $5 or something like that. That also ended, and I think they also just took away your point. I think if you have any points left, you can still spend them for a little bit to like November.
Yeah, I just got the last email. They're like, warning, and I think the first week in December. I don't know if it's the 7th, but it's in the single digits for my region. I don't know if it's region specific, but for me, I need to log in and spend my points. But yeah, it's gone. Yeah,
you can still redeem for the $5 reward, or I think there's increments of $5 you can redeem for, and there's no benefit to like saving up more points to get a discount on a higher amount of money you get back. It's always like X amount for this amount of money, and it just keeps increasing the more you go up, so you just don't have to add to cart multiple times.
You can either do a gift card, which is like the direct thing you're talking about, or there's some games that you can directly buy with the points, which sometimes saves. It's a little bit better than the value but yeah. Yeah,
that's true. Obviously, like, this guide can't tell you which games are worth it, but I can tell you, like, go on the store, figure out what the point value in cash it is for the game, and figure out what the game is available for on the store, and if it's worth getting the gift card to spend on the game, because the game might be on sale, but the game won't get a discounted points in redemption sale in the store, in the PlayStation Stars app. And also, I think they change the games out every month, and I don't know if they've added or changed or removed games since they canceled the Stars program. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Also, services have increased their price. Basically all of them. Game Pass has gone up. That just happened. We talked about that in a recent episode. I don't remember how much, but I think it's 30 Canadian here now, or 33 Canadian or something, where it used to be. Wow. I think it's 33.99 Canadian a month for Game Pass Ultimate, and before that, it was 22.99. I think in the US, the increase was much more significant as well. I think it went from I think it's $30 US for the Game Pass Ultimate, but that ends up being more Canadian when you do the currency conversion. It's closer to 40. So it's a better deal for Canadians to get it still, but it did increase a lot in the US.
Yeah.
Nintendo Switch Online also went up to $10, at least Canadian. So it was $100 for the family plan, which is Ekamy. You and I are on a family plan together. It used to be $100, then it went up to $110. It's still a really good bang for your buck if you want classic games, if you use the online service, if you like the cloud save feature. It's still worth it, in my opinion, even at $110, but it does bother me that they increased it without really adding anything at the time of increase.
That's fair.
But they added Game Freak this year.
I honestly thought, like, with everything going up in price and all these news of like loyalty programs going, I was like, they're either gonna, like, I fully expected them to just get rid of the family plan or jack it up by like $50. So it sucks that it went up, but I was still happy that it was at least only $10 because it could have been a lot worse. Yeah.
Nintendo likes to, all these companies like to end good things. If there's something you like and you want it, you should, I'm not saying you should go spend a lot of money frivolously or whatever. But like there are some things that like I just have this sinking feeling we're going to lose in the next few years. Like Ekamy, I think you're right. I think the family plan is going to go the way of the dodo when they realize how much people are taking advantage of it. Whereas, like divvy it up between 8 people, I think it's $15 a year.
Yeah.
Right. For everything.
Great.
Which is really, really good. But even at $100, even the like $80 or whatever it is for like the expansion pass for one person, $80 a year is still like, even if it's 50, like that's still a good deal, but it's still significantly more than what you're paying, which makes it a tougher pill to swallow when you could pay 15 a month or 15 a year rather. So yeah. PlayStation Plus also increased in some territories, not all. I think in the US it went unscathed, but I think in Canada it definitely didn't. We got an increase here and I finally canceled it this year. So
what was the increase? I'm curious.
I don't remember. No.
Too much.
Too much.
I can't tell you the numbers, but I can tell you that each model went up to the price of its next tier up. So let's say you were on Essential, which is the base tier. It went up to the
the next tier.
The next like one, whichever was Essential, Plus, and Premium. Whatever the middle one was, it became priced at the middle one. The middle one became priced at the top tier, and the top tier got an increase over that. That's all I remember for sure. And I remember thinking, like, I didn't want to pay for this when it was at the the cheapest price, because after it went up a few years ago when they were like, they'd give it out for like peanuts, and they were like, we're going to make it 80 or 90 now. And I was like, that's too much. Like, that's not worth it. That's still per year, which is still divvied up per month, is still not bad, but compared to Nintendo, it's, anyway.
I agree.
Yeah, it's going from something that, like, oh, I can grab free games every month, sick, and, like, you just happen to use some of the other features to, okay, this is really worth it. I am still grandfathered in at some number, I don't know what I'm at, but it was when PlayStation Sunset, they had 2 different things, like PlayStation Now and their service, and Now let me stream a lot of PlayStation games on the computer. I think it was Now, but when they sunset that one, they kind of, like, merge them together and said, here's everyone's price that was on that. And I think they've started not rolling it back, but with the increases that are happening, I'm feeling it more. Like,
Yeah. And if everyone is laughing along sadly with us, I think we're all in the same boat right now. I don't think there's a single person on this planet that hasn't been affected by price increases. In some way, like everything is going up right now, and corporations are basically saying like, oh, we can't afford to keep people on. We can't afford to give you your eggs and your bread at the low prices anymore. You know, everything costs more. And then they also post record profits like a month later because of all the cuts and all the increases and everything. And I literally think that the inflation, like, I think inflation is like a man-made concept. Like, I know, I don't want to say we should print more money because I know that is not how it works, but also like I think there's got to be a way to go back, even if they'll never do it. Like, there's no way, like, you're telling me that like video games have to be $100. Like, because also wages aren't increasing either. But anyway, so all that is to say is that like, watch out for sales this year. Like, if you're looking for stuff to go on sale this year, the sales you're going to be seeing, I suspect, are going to be things going back down to the prices they were pre-price increase and not lower than that. Before you'd be like, oh, a $500 PlayStation? It's on for $400 now. Now that $500 PlayStation is $600, they might be like, well, we can afford to give it to you for a weekend for $500 now. But you're not going to see those deep discounts like you were before. Stuff like that. Like, I guess I give the PlayStation example, but like a Nintendo Switch is now $340 in the US, right? And I think, you know, you might see it go down to $300. I think they announced already that there's not going to be a sale on the Switch. I think they're just bringing back bundles. And I think it's the Nintendo Switch Sports bundle you're getting. And I think, again, it's like whatever the price is, but also you're getting the game discounted the same way you would get Mario Kart World for the Switch too. I think that came out today. I didn't look super closely at it because honestly, it was pretty milquetoast what they were offering this year. People were really excited because they're like, oh, games are going half off. And it's like, no, they grouped all the games that are going $20 off with the $30 off games together and not telling you which ones are which unless you read the fine print. So everyone's saying Paper Mario is half off. I'm pretty sure it's actually $40 US, which is still a discount, but also like don't get carried away. Like they're not being that generous. And also it's still the pre-selected number of games that they do. Like they've chosen a different lineup of games this year for which games they're discounting, but it's still like, it's these 5 games and that's all we're going to discount. We're not doing like an across the board, 15% off all our games.
Yeah, no.
So just keep in mind, like, if you're shopping, like, keep in mind that like the prices you're getting, if there's sale prices, it might just be what you would have paid 6 months ago. And if you didn't want to pay that 6 months ago, maybe you think about, maybe not, maybe you don't want to pay that now, or maybe you're like, hey, and also there's the other thing too, where like, hey, prices might increase again next year. Especially with GTA 6 coming, prices might keep going up. Maybe you want to jump in now before tariffs get worse, before, cost of living goes up, before GTA 6 comes out and like things just go up. So like weigh your options carefully and, spend wisely. But like I bought the Switch 2 as well because I was like, hey, this might actually go up in price again when the tariffs go up, and Canada will be affected because the US screws us every chance they get, with their economy. Sorry, Lloyd, but you guys keep effing us. So,
the royal yeah.
So buy what you can while you can. If it's something you want and you can afford to, maybe don't wait. So
yeah, video games has like entered a luxury space that I think, especially when we were children and younger, like Black Friday deals, especially, like video games didn't used to be a guaranteed sale, and now I think they're being treated like a little bit more like a luxury, like things like people are actually going to be going for it. So it's getting a little bit trickier to get those deals.
Yeah. And also, they know too, I think they've clued in that like people are going to buy these things anyway. And whereas before during the pandemic, when people kind of got back into video games, and a lot of people stayed back with video games. But like a lot of people with cost of living going up and like things being expensive, people are going out less. At least I am. I'm going out a lot less. And so it's cheaper for me to invest in like $100 video game that I'm going to get 20 to 30 hours out of. And we can sit here all day and argue about like time spent versus money spent, like dollars to hours, whatever. But like if I can justify spending $100 on Silent Hill F, which is the game I have my eye on right now, right? I know I'm going to get like, let's say 10 to 20 hours out of that. Whereas spending $100 to go like get dinner and go to a movie with a friend or something, like that's the same price. And that's 5 hours. And I could play an online game with my friend or have my friend over and we cook food and we play the game together. Like, I think more people are doing that. So I think more people are buying games instead of going out. But then companies have clued in like, oh, we don't have to discount these things because people are going to spend that money anyway because they've already justified it in their heads. That's also speculation. That is not based on any fact. That's anecdotal. Do not come at me in the comments, or do. I'm not your mom.
Purely vibes. All of the vibes.
Okay. One more thing about this price increase stuff. Always check individual retailers. Sometimes retailers will go against the grain. They will offer something that maybe, like going into a Best Buy and they're like, hey, Best Buy can't discount the Switch because Nintendo is not really recommending it, but Best Buy's like, hey, but we're going to throw in a controller with this bundle or whatever. So like just, and we're going to get into like mom and pop shops and local stores and stuff later, but like just look into all your options and see what the options are, because you never know what you might find, right? And what loyalty programs are left, you might be able to take advantage of as well. So,
of course.
Anyway, let's talk about the stuff from last year that we do get to keep in mind. So, does anyone want to take the first point here in the show notes? I'm looking at Lloyd. I think Lloyd looks hungry for it.
What's funny is I zoomed too far, and so now I'm finding my way back. Let's see.
It's the bullet point that mentions Star Wars Outlaws. Our loyal audience is waiting, Lloyd. I'm just kidding. I'll go, really and when you catch it, you can catch up. It's okay. I'm not actually upset.
What's super funny is you said always check individual retailers, and that's what I'm looking at. And then the next part is the guide on how to be mindful with your money. Set a goal price, and I'm like, where? Oh, okay.
That's where you are.
That's exactly where it is.
You threw me off with the Star Wars Outlaws. I was like, where the all right. hello. So
All right, while we're giggling, I'll just go. Do you want me to cover this one, Lloyd, or do you want to do it?
no, I can do it. I can do it.
All right.
Let's see. So with things moving a little bit more digital and having the ability to search for stuff online, a good strategy is to pick a game that you want to watch prices for and set a goal price you have in mind for that game, and essentially wait until it hits that price. There are certain websites that you can get notifications for when the certain things that you favorited or liked or added to your list go on sales. That's something that's super helpful. And there's also deal trackers on Twitter, Boo, or other social media websites.
Such as Blue Sky.
Sorry, I just want to jump in actually and note something. It's this is just anecdotal, but like I use my notes app on my phone a lot. And right now, so I do two things. I'm like obsessive about this, but I have a release dates app where I keep a note of all the games I'm interested in buying, all the media, stuff I like to collect, games I'm interested in releasing, movies, whatever have you. Theater release dates, like just anything that I'm like, okay, here's in my mind, I know when the release date is, and I keep track of like, have I pre-ordered this? Have I not? I'm not saying you should pre-order games. I'm a whore. But anyway, in that same app, I've started listing games that I was like, I really want to buy this on release date, but I need to stop doing that because sometimes games sit in my backlog. I'll buy a game with the plan to play it. I get it home and something else new and shiny distracts me, or there's something else I have to do. And then suddenly that game falls by the wayside and I've got this sealed game on my shelf that I'm not going to play until well after it gets discounted. So the way I convinced myself to make this exciting for me was to add to my notes app, like a little section where with the retail price of the game. So let's go back to Silent Hill F, which is a game I'm very interested in playing. It's $100. So I went and looked and I checked when Silent Hill 2 went on sale versus when it came out. And it was like a few months, right? So like it came out in October. It was on sale by like Canadian Boxing Day, which is just after Christmas. Right. And it dropped down to like 30% off. So I decided like every game I want to buy should be at least 40% discounted. So I calculated what 40% off of each game is and what price I'm looking at. So that way when I see a game like L Babbins or Wario64 posts, hey, Silent Hill F is on sale for the first time, I go, it's easy to get caught up in the hype of like, oh, it's on sale finally. Let me just click add to cart and buy.
Yeah.
Maybe like go to your notes app and go, what goal price did I set for that? And then I go, oh, well, I want it for 60 and not 70. And so just keep waiting because, you eventually in this space, you figure out like, unless it's a limited run game that's going to sell out, like Silent Hill F is going to be on store shelves for the next few years. It will go lower. So unless you want to play it right this second and can afford it, wait,
Yeah. That was something that, something similar to me happened when I was looking for, Claire Obscure Expedition 33, because when it released and I'd heard good things about it, I was like, oh, I do want this game, but I'm going to wait for it to be on sale for a bit. And it actually was I had an interesting thought process about the whole thing because I was like, yeah, initially, I'll wait for a sale. And then I just heard more about it. And I'm like, oh, I would really like a physical of this game. And originally I actually was like talking with a friend and we said, oh, let's get a physical of this game for our other friend for their birthday. That's a great idea. And that's when I learned that it was really limited. Like they were releasing the physicals very limited. And I was like, oh no, like I really also want a physical of this game. So I had it on a tracker for, I think it was VGP, like Video Game Plus. And that was just for like retail price. And so I would get those notifications and then I would be like, oh, great, it's limited. And then I would sit back and I'd be like, okay, do I still want this for full price? Like, do I want to wait for a while? And at the time, I did decide, you know what? I know I'm really going to enjoy this game. I'm okay with spending full price because I haven't really been spending a whole lot else lately. But I have seen the game go on sale digitally like quite a bit in comparison. So I weighed my options to be like, do I want to wait? Do I want to get a physical right now? Or do I want to just like wait digitally? And I did like just one of those things where I said, no, I'd really like this game on my shelf. So think about all the different things that like come to your mind. That's a really great recommendation, Zoe, too, for like, what's my goal price? What's that? In that case, my goal price was retail.
It's also in stock right now. Like the FOMO is over. Like people still like it, and it will probably be another wave after the Game Awards when it sweeps because it will. But it isn't like it was one of those games where it kept going out of stock and you're like, oh no, like, is this going to be limited? There was a restock, like a reprint of Final Fantasy VII Remake, part 1. And I had a Japanese copy and the DLC code didn't work on it. And I really wanted an English copy. I wanted it to look nice on my shelf, right? I knew it wasn't like, but it was out of print, like really out of print, and going for hundreds of dollars on eBay, even though it's a game that came out like 3 years ago on PS5. I wanted a PS5 copy of it. And so there was a reprint last year, or like late last year, pre-orders in December for February release. And I was like, this is for sure going to be limited. Like Square Enix, whenever they do this, it's always limited. And I should have learned my lesson actually, because this happened once before with the Final Fantasy Pixel Collection. But when it came back in stock, it's been in stock ever since, and it's been on sale. And you really can't return physical games. Even sealed after a certain window, like you can't return them. And like trying to sell on the secondhand market, like sure, but you're going to lose money. And then buying it on sale, like it's easy to get caught up in FOMO. And like, if it's something you really want and you're worried that it might go out of stock, maybe you should buy it. Like the window is closing on physical media collecting. Like today, the first Pokemon game that's going to be on Switch 2 is a game key card. So like, we're slowly getting pushed out of the hobby of collecting. So like, there's also the option of weighing like, hey, if you want a physical copy of something, but like if you're a digital only person, there's no reason to get caught up in FOMO. Absolutely zero reason. There are no limited amount of copies of that stuff. Like, sometimes games get delisted, but like...
And the other thing too to keep in mind, if it's available from the website you're purchasing from, is something that helped me also just make the decision when I bought the physical was sometimes game websites will offer the option of paying in installments. So instead of paying the full $100-something up front, you can be like, I want to pay the I don't know, like $30 over like 3-4 weeks or something. So I did that, and that helped quite a bit. I think the platform that I used was called Sezzle. So
Amy, I've always wanted to know this. Is there any like I think you might have already answered this actually when you were talking about it, but is there any is it called interest when they like, is there any kind of like, you pay over the course of weeks, but you have to pay like an extra 5% on top of it because you're basically being loaned money? Or do they just cut it up into 4 payments and you don't pay any extra?
Because I think I'd have to double check my last order that I did where I bought Expedition 33.
Interest, not insurance. Interest.
No, I got you. I don't think so, but not bad to like when you're going through the payment processing like situation, they will tell you how much it would be over the amount of time. So obviously if you like do the math, like if you're just like, oh, they're going to charge me extra, like determine if you want to deal with that or not. I don't recall there being interest, but because I think Sezzle is interest free. I think they advertise as interest free. So
yeah, especially here in the US. I don't know that one so much, but like I think Klarna, there's a couple that are always being recommended when you go to check out digitally. And I've noticed over the last couple of years, I don't know if they've like fully dropped interest to make it a little more attractive, but like it seems to be a little bit more common now that there's no interest. But obviously, check the fine print when you check out.
For sure.
The cynic in me wonders when that goodness is going to end, because like I can't see how it's beneficial for them to loan out money that they're not making any money on. I don't know how that works. I have to imagine enshittification is going to take over at some point. But
I have gotten, I think, like after I used Sezzle, I have gotten like onto like a mailing list of sorts where they're like, oh, you can use your like Sezzle spend or like upgrade to this. And I think in that case, it's like,
they're selling
spend money. Yeah. So it's,
we are the product. Okay. Yeah.
So
I was just thinking
that's
that.
what they're doing. Yeah. So
that makes sense.
Not that I literally was like, I clicked it once. I was like, what is this? And then I read it and I was like, I don't care. And I just like went about my day.
Yeah, and like just because I skimmed over it, there are a couple of examples for price tracking. Deku deals for Switch, PS prices for PlayStation, XboxDeals.net for Xbox, and SteamDB for Steam. Obviously, things might change over time, but those are like the examples we've got at the moment.
And also Warrior 64 in the US and Albabins. That's really, I don't even know if that's how you pronounce it, but Albabins in Canada is like our Warrior 64. I think there's a British equivalent as well. I'm sure every country has some kind of person that's like taking advantage of people clicking through the links, the promo. They're making money off you by advertising this stuff, but you're not giving them extra money. Like it's literally because they're advertising for Amazon. Amazon puts a game on sale. They have an affiliate link. You click the affiliate link. They give every time the link gets clicked and a purchase goes through, they get 10 cents. I do recommend using the affiliate links because I know that some of these guys are up late tracking deals. I've asked El Babbins a number of questions through DMs, and this person has, I don't know their pronouns, I think he, him, but they have always responded. They have always been helpful. So like, if you can support, it's like we're getting tracked anyway. We might as well throw this person a couple bucks that is literally no skin off our teeth if you can add to cart through their affiliate link. But anyway, that's up to you. That's your prerogative. But yeah, those sites are a great thing.
There's also Game Deals Canada for other Canadian viewers. I use that. I follow them on Blue Sky along with El Babbins. So.
Yeah. And there's also, I don't remember what website it is, but there's a website for tracking Walmart prices, and there's also Camel for tracking Amazon prices. So you can actually go look at a chart of what their prices have been on like specific items, and third party deals too. Like there's a third party seller selling something, you're like, oh, what's the lowest third party price it's ever been? What's the lowest use price? So there's like options like that out there. In Canada, there's also a forum called Red Flag Deals. We're a Canadian podcast. Sorry, Lloyd. Hopefully one day you can become a nice Canadian like us, but if not, but anyway, we have Red Flag Deals here. You can go on there and check. There's no like tracking, but you'll see forum posts being like, oh, hey, this controller is on sale at this one random place. And if you use this extra thing, you get this. Like there's ways to get around to. Some other ways to save money. Ekamy, do you want to take this Costco one here? Or Lloyd, you were going to mention actually earlier, we were talking about Costco in the Discord.
Sure.
If not, I can take
you
it.
okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. This next bit is a little bit about, the practice of gift cards and the practice of if you buy X amount of a certain type of gift card, they either throw in a little bit more off the top or another like sort of supplementary, like not supplementary, but a gift card for somebody else. And Costco is the example we were talking about amongst ourselves. In my region, we don't have access to a lot of Costco's. So I know Price Dropper was one that used to do this quite a bit. And it's kind of the idea, these are all just not real numbers, but like if you buy $100 of Price Dropper gift card, there was whatever promo they happened to have at the time, you would either get more at that same place or you would get a gift card of 20, 30, 40 bucks at whatever the other place was. So that's sort of like a non-direct way to save money. And sometimes that second gift card is a Visa gift card, or that gift card you can buy is a Visa gift card that you can then spend wherever you want. And technically you're saving money. It's not necessarily a direct sale on the game itself you're buying, but it's a way to spread your dollar a little bit more.
Yeah. Again, I'm not advertising for Walmart here. We have not, none of this is stuff we've been paid to say at all. I have not made a single dollar. I am not in the black on this podcast, but right now Walmart Canada has a deal right now where you can buy a $99 Nintendo gift card or a PlayStation gift card for $100 or an Xbox gift card for $100 and I think a Roblox gift card for $100. You can only get one. And I think after that, they track you and they go, well, you've bought 3 of these. We're not only giving you, but you can then go enter the code of that gift card. Don't worry, this isn't if it's a sketchy looking website that Walmart has set up, but I promise you, you can still redeem the gift card after, but you have to enter the gift card number on the website and then you'll get $20 to spend at Walmart on a future purchase. And at Costco in Canada here, we have gift cards. If you buy a $100 Nintendo gift card, you will get, it costs $90 to buy that $100. Like you get it for $89.99 and you get $100. So you're basically getting a free $10. Same with Sony. I think Xbox also has. I have no idea how to get a Steam gift card for less than its actual value. If anyone ever finds one like that for Steam, I will love you forever. But as far as I know, those kinds of things are very hard to find and they don't do that. And Steam gift cards are very hard to find in Canada anyway. I think very few places carry them anymore because I guess with Steam people on Steam you're just using your credit card anyway, right? And you can send gift cards to people through Steam regardless. So gifting on Steam is significantly easier than Nintendo, Xbox, or Sony. Or PlayStation. Speaking of Steam, Ekamy, do you sell your trading cards on Steam?
Every year, I tell myself, I gotta do this. I should sell my trading cards. And every year I forget. I want to, yeah. It's a good idea.
It is. So it doesn't net you a ton of money unless you have a lot of Steam trading cards, but some games, not all, and actually I found out that the vast majority of Steam games do not have trading cards as a feature. It just happens to be the ones that I've been playing happen to have trading cards, so I thought every game had them. But some games have trading cards, and what happens is as you play the game, you won't even know it's happening, but you'll check your inventory later on Steam, and you'll notice that you have some trading cards, like some like digital like images from the game that are like trading cards, just from playing the game. So like I played, I forget what game it was, Hoa. I played Hoa, which is that like, I don't remember which country it's from, and I don't want to be racist and assume. But it's a Southeast Asian country made game. And it's a very beautiful game. Everyone should play it. It's amazing. It's
really
gorgeous.
Nice. Yeah.
It's really, really good and wholesome and just beautiful. But anyway, I found out I think you can get a max of half the trading cards available in the game from finishing the game. So I had 3 out of the 6 trading cards, and I realized I could get 20 cents on the Steam market for selling them. And all you have to do is list it for sale, choose the price you want it for. You can set it to $20 if you want. No one will buy it, but you could set it to $20. And, it'll be up for 14 days. If nobody buys it, it'll revert to you. But if someone buys it, and usually it's within a few hours, someone buys all my trading cards, you'll get money back for what you asked for. And that money will go towards go straight into your Steam wallet. So, and sometimes you'll play a game that is been delisted, or a game that people don't really buy, or people don't want to play, or it's a hard trading card to get. And sometimes those trading cards can go for a few bucks, and people will pay that. And suddenly you've got some money in so if you're like Ekamy and you have a bunch of trading cards and you refuse to sell them, it's a little monotonous to go through each one and list it, but it'll tell you what the going rate is for that card in the marketplace at that moment.
Yeah.
And you can look at the little graph and go, I think this is going to trend upwards, so I'm going to list it for a couple pennies more. It's
like
nitpicky, but it's like a little like stock. It's kind of fun. I don't know. It's stocks I prefer over like real stocks, but anyway.
It's so funny. I just cleared out my Steam notifications, and the notifications like you get 3 more items added to your inventory, and I was like, "What? I didn't buy nothing. What's?" It's usually right after you've been playing for a while, and it's random collectibles. So I'll have to look into that. Maybe I am sitting on something because I've never sold them.
Yeah, even if not,
I've got like 12
I've sold
pages
stuff
of
for
them.
6 cents before, and just like whatever.
Yeah, true.
Unless you're the kind of person that wants to collect the cards, in which case you're probably the person that would be more likely to buy them off the marketplace and sell them and display them on your Steam page. I am not that person. My Steam page is barren. It's a barren wasteland. I just don't care. The amount of the friends I have on Steam are everyone on this podcast plus like one other person. So, that's not self-deprecating. I mean, I just I'm not as invested in my Steam friend, my Steamosphere of everything. I just like to have my little Steam Deck with my games and play. Anyway, it's a nice way to get a couple bucks off the Steam Winter Sale when it happens, and we will get onto that later. Another way to get games, sometimes games go on deep discount when they're physical. Just a general thing to look out for is like any store where you buy physical games from. Sometimes they'll randomly be on clearance for really cheap, or game stores are it's just, sometimes physical games cost a lot more, sometimes they cost a lot less. You just got to be vigilant and, look for games you're interested in if you're okay having a physical copy of something. If you're into game key cards, like for Nintendo Switch 2, I am personally not, but if there's something you're comfortable buying and maybe selling later, you could buy them and sell them and make some money back, or you could get them at discount because I think they go on sale a lot because people aren't buying them as much. So waiting till they go on sale, like Pokemon Pokopia is going to be a game key card. I guarantee you within a few months they won't be selling super well, and it'll probably be available very cheap, so you could probably buy it by next year's Black Friday for a decent price, maybe. It remains to be seen with a Pokemon game key card. It might sell like hotcakes. I don't know. I hope to God not, but anyway. Some stores that have sales. Does anyone want to kind of just do a little listicle here?
Yeah, I could do it.
Okay.
So we talked a little bit about bigger retailers. So obviously check your Best Buy, check your EB Games, or which is also GameStop in the US, check your Walmart, because usually there'll be different times where games will go on sale. Usually I often will see stuff in an e-newsletter to be we have a game sale, for Nintendo games or something, check it out. They're this price or less, or this price or more. So that's usually a good thing to keep in mind. Amazon usually will have some deals going on. They have their Prime Day, which I don't really use Amazon, but I know that there are lots of deals when that happens. And there are different websites. I mentioned Video Games Plus earlier. There's also PNP Games that are in Canada. They ship worldwide. And
we're local to Video Games Plus, by the way. If you're in Toronto and you listen to this podcast,
I know.
like it's in the city. Like you can take the subway there.
I know. I'm gonna be like on a vacation week next week, going to Toronto one of those days. So I'll probably try to
hang out.
in.
Let's go together. Oh my god,
Yeah?
that sounds like so much fun. Yeah, I'd love to go.
Sure.
They're also dog friendly, so I can bring Olive.
And I can meet Olive.
Yeah.
Yay.
I'm
Okay.
making a small list for when I do visit. I'll
Yeah,
follow
yeah.
up, but
If you come, if and when you come, Lloyd, I'm taking you to all the cool spots. Don't worry.
oh,
Yeah.
perfect.
Nice.
You will not be. You will be like, Zoe, I've already spent too much. Stop taking me to another cool place.
It'll reach a point where I started treating the places like aquariums. I'll go with like my hands behind my back, like, yes.
This is a bad time to bring up a funny aside, but aquariums make me hungry. I'm a terrible
What?
As a pescatarian, the smell of the fish in an aquarium makes me so hungry. I'm a terrible human being. And I don't eat meat. Like, I only eat fish and eggs, and I'm lactose intolerant, so there's a lot of animal products I don't eat, but if I go to Ripley's Aquarium here in Toronto, I'm leaving and getting sushi every time.
That's fair.
I'm so like.
So, to tie that back into what you're saying is I would be aquarium shopping for video games, like window shopping, and I'd be like, no, I have to buy this. Like, look at that beautiful physical copy.
Yeah.
No, we're going back. We're going back to the
No, you can't get out of this, Zoe.
Get out of this. Yeah, no, that's right. So you're telling me that the smell of the upkeep of fish, of the environment that fish live in, and or the cleaning around the fish and the feeding of fish, smells like the consumption of fish?
Yeah, I smell fishy smell, and I'm like, oh god, I'm hungry.
Oh, fish time. Fish fry.
And I usually go to Ripley's, and then it's usually whoever I'm going with, it's like, we're gonna do lunch after this or whatever. So like, I'm
that's
already
true,
hungry,
yeah.
and I'm like, I guess that lunch is now sushi.
Yeah. By default.
I'm not alone on this, by the way. My ex was like this too, so I'm not alone.
really?
I'm not
That's
the weird
very
one. We were
funny.
both like, sushi? Let's get sushi.
Yeah,
It was like looking at the
sushi.
fish made us like want to eat them. It was just like the smell of it, like it just like. Anyway, maybe I am a sick fuck. But
Maybe Canadian aquariums smell different. Like I don't.
I went to the Boston Aquarium a few years ago, and it also made me hungry for sushi. Went to the Japanese one, also made me hungry for sushi. This is not unique to Canada. We don't have unique smelling fish here.
You need Oh my god.
No.
So
I've been dragged to many aquarium.
many aquarium.
Yeah, aquarium.
That's so funny. I love sushi. I love aquariums. I've literally not a single
Never.
time been like, yo, these things go so well together. I see the vision. You're not.
No,
like-
you don't see the vision. You're lying right now. You're like, Zoe,
I am.
something's wrong with
I
you.
am.
I'm not coming back on this podcast ever again.
I'm
If there was
reminding
a way for
myself
me
that
to
there's.
respectfully nope out right now, I would leave, but it's not.
I'm reminding myself there's different people. There's different types of people. There's different experiences.
Look,
Everyone's
I don't like the way
reality
they
is their
treat
own.
fish, the same way I don't like the way they treat animals.
Yep.
But ethically speaking, I can't get over the fact that I enjoy sushi a lot. Like, I enjoy fish in general. Like,
Fair.
and it's also like always been like I don't eat a lot of fish, but like it's always like a good source of protein where I'm like, I know if like I can't have if I'm sick of vegan protein or I can't access like whatever, like
Yeah.
I know there's fish as an option. But anyway,
True.
you gotta pick your battles. You gotta pick your battles. This is a battle I lost. So, all right, let's move on here. Let's. We were talking about so supporting. Let's support your local game store. Speaking of local game
Yes.
stores and going to all these game stores.
Yes,
Um,
yes.
Find out what video like join a Discord, join the subreddit for your area. You know,
Yep.
figure out where your
Instagram
game stores are.
pages.
And don't just go in there and support them, but like go in and talk to people there. Like even as me, who is very anxious as a trans woman to like speak the way I sound and look, especially early in my transition. But like for the most part, most people don't. I mean, again, I can't speak for places where it's actually unsafe. But speaking as someone who lives in Toronto, where generally people are not too judgmental, like going into my game stores, I'm friends with a lot of the people there, sometimes on a first name basis. You know, they know who I am. I know that Video Games Plus on Twitter knows me on a first name basis because I'm constantly DMing and being like, you guys are you guys getting this back in stock anytime soon? Like, where is this? So like, you know, they like, I've also made friends with, it's not games related, but I've Bay Street Video. I've made friends with the people at Bay Street Video, which is our last like Blockbuster-esque store here. And they've actually got me in touch with like journalists before who are doing stuff, write-ups on like physical media and stuff. And I did an interview earlier this year with someone from a newspaper about, you know, people who still collect, bums like me who still collect videos, Blu-rays and DVDs and stuff. So
Cool.
Making friends with people, you never know where it's going to lead. What kind of, like, if there's something in stock and they're only getting a couple copies, they might call you and say, like, hey, I know you're interested in this.
Yep.
You know, I'm looking for a cartridge revision of Pokemon Shining Pearl that has the 5 number on the back. And I've gone into hundreds of video game stores, not hundreds, but a bunch, and they don't know what this is. And I tell them, and they're like, okay, well, we'll look out for this for you. Facebook Marketplace people too. I've been like, every time there's a listing for the game, I'm like, can you check the back of the cartridge? And they're like, oh, you're the bitch that keeps asking about this. I'm looking for it, but I haven't found it yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you never know who you're going to meet and who you're going to make friends with and what kind of deals are going to come your way because you've been nice to people. Even when I order something on eBay, I make sure to send like a nice message and interact with people. You know, like remember the human.
Yeah, I also had a really good experience with Facebook Marketplace when I got the new God of War game, God of War Ragnarok, for like basically $30 less than what it is. So, and the person was super nice. So, obviously, like, you know, like be safe. Do your research. Like, be safe. Yeah. But it can be a good option for discounts.
If you are going to meet people on Facebook Marketplace, do your best to meet somewhere lit, somewhere with a lot of people. I know it sounds sketchy to go somewhere where it's really crowded, but places that are crowded are more likely to have a lot of cameras.
Public spaces, for sure.
Yep.
In Toronto, I always make sure to go meet someone at a subway station. Generally, if it's me and another woman, like for the most part, we're like, okay, we kind of vibe, like we're both like aware of this, and we'll meet somewhere safe-ish, but like we won't go to the same extent that like if I'm meeting a strange dude, I'll be like, we're meeting near the collector's booth in a subway station where there are cameras, there are people, there's a guy behind the booth that if something happens, I can scream help or fire, and he will be on 911 and transit control in a second. So just obviously you're not going to have that in every city or town, but like, you know, go to a coffee shop, go somewhere where if there's, you know, buy a coffee from the person there and, you know, say, I'm meeting someone here and the person behind, you know, just be safe, please. Be safe. But there are lots of good deals to be found on Facebook Marketplace too. I didn't even bring that up in here, but it's a good point. There are also bundles. There are websites like Humble, Fanatical, and Itch where they do massive game bundles where you can get a bunch of games for a very, very low price, oftentimes also donating to charity in the process. There's also something that just launched today as we record. There's a new website called Digifile. I'm reading from the GameDeveloper.com article here. A group of former Humble Bundle veterans have launched a new digital storefront called Digifile in a bid to deliver the next big thing in community-focused discovery. Digifile is built as a discovery platform for digital media enthusiasts that will offer curated premium game and book bundles that benefit users, creators, publishers, and charities. Everything starts with curation. Each Digifile collection is a limited-time event made in collaboration with respected voices in each genre to create meaningful showcases that celebrate what's worth playing right now, said Alex Hill, the team lead. Also, I learned about this afterwards, so I don't think I sent this to you guys, but I found out that when you buy a bundle from Digifile, if you own some of the games in the bundle, you can trade in up to 3 keys from that bundle, and you can get credit towards other games that have previously been other bundles that you didn't redeem for.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
So I'm not sure how extensive that is. I'm not sure how far a key goes towards a credit. I have to assume that this is one of those things where they're keeping those keys in the back, or like a backlog of keys that people have traded in. So that way in the future, in 6 months, hey, Zoe traded in these 3 keys. Those 3 keys are now available for someone else to claim. That, you know, like stuff like that. Like, I think it must be a very community-based experience, and it's not just like they have hundreds of keys sitting. I know that most keys have to be asked for by, like, you have to ask for them. They're not they can be unlimited, but you have to request them from Steam. Speaking to the devs that I've spoken to over the year about how game keys work. I know Ekamy and Lloyd, we had I'm not trying to disparage, but we had a little bit of a misunderstanding with Endelian when they were sending us the codes for Quality Dreams Reasonably Priced. And we learned in that moment exactly how Steam keys worked and how they can go wrong even when you are very specific with Steam. So that is to say that like Steam keys are not unlimited in the sense that, so Digifile probably has like 100 codes to give out, for example, right? And so people redeem 100 of them, but 8 of those codes have been sent back and traded in. Those are the 8 keys that'll be available for that game in the future if someone wants to go and get it redeemed for a different game.
Yeah. The other thing too with bundles that I quickly wanted to mention was if you are on Steam and you see there's a bundle for a couple of different games, let's say you already own like 2 of them or something, then the cost of the bundle might actually be less than the cost of like getting like the 1 or 2 games that you want, because what they'll usually do is they will discount the bundle if you already own the games. That happened with me with a couple of games that I wanted, that I ended up getting, because I was like, oh, it's cheaper just to go to get the bundle. I don't get the same game twice. They just remove the cost of that game for me. So.
And also, alternatively, if there's like 1 or 2 games in the bundle that you want and you don't want anything else in the bundle, and it's just going to be filling up your inventory with a backlog of games you're not sure you want to play, because it happens, right? Like, we don't want to play every game, no matter how much we would like to support every game that we can. But sometimes, like, oh, like, this game is really cheap in this bundle if you like look at everything else that comes with it. But you're like, oh, if you just want that those 1 or 2 games, like, go on Steam and during the winter sale and see what those games actually cost on sale. Like, they might be cheaper than buying the bundle. Unless, of course, you want to donate to charity as part of, like, if it's a Humble bundle and it's for charity. Fanatical, I don't think is charity-based, but Humble generally is. Donate to charity. It's always a good thing, especially if the charity that you're supporting is something you believe in.
Yeah.
Black Friday sales is specifically why we're talking about this, but there will be Black Friday sales. I'm just going to speed through a couple of these so we can get through. Like I said, a few games are going to go on sale. I think Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door is a big one this year that's like finally getting discounted. If you're not happy with the games on offer and these physical sales that they do for Black Friday, generally, like, PlayStation will have a sale like this, Xbox will have a big sale like this, and Nintendo will have a big sale where they're like, here's what we're doing for Black Friday. Here's everything that's on sale. And here's the window it's on sale for. Also, all these storefronts, also their digital versions of these storefronts also have massive sales around this time as well. That usually include other games, maybe not first-party games necessarily, but they will include other games in the sale, and there'll just be a massive sale as well. And in Nintendo's case, the European sale always goes up a week before these sales everywhere else in the world. So if you want to know what might be in those sales, generally, for the most part, 90% of the time, it's pretty much one-to-one with the European sale and the US sale, for example. Sometimes there'll be a couple games that don't make it between the two, but for the most part, you can kind of go, oh, there's going to be a 30% discount on Golf Story this week in Europe, so I know next week it's going to go on sale for 30% off, and I want to pick up that game. Same with Sony will have a sale, Xbox will have a sale as well in their digital storefronts, but they won't telegraph it with a European sale first. The Steam Autumn Sale, again, if there's something you want, you're okay not playing it right away. Always wait for these sales when you know there's a sale window. But the Steam Autumn Sale already happened this year. It happened actually in early October. It used to be during Black Friday. It's no longer the case. It happened actually before even our Thanksgiving in Canada. It happened like late September, early October. So the next big sale for Steam is going to be, that's like a general sale, is going to be the winter sale. And this year it takes place from December 18th to January 5th. So it's actually a bit of a bigger window than it was last year. Last year, I think it was the 19th to the 2nd. So there are a few extra days in there where you can get stuff discounted, which is nice. So that's pretty much the entire winter break, especially if you're a student. You're like, you've got time, like you've got that whole window to buy games. If a game goes on sale right before the Steam Autumn Sale happens, or the Steam Winter Sale, sorry. Like let's say it's December 16th and a game you want just went on sale and you're like, oh, I don't know though, but in 2 days the Winter Sale starts. Chances are that's the sale for that game and they're just trying to get ahead of the sale by getting your attention on it now. It won't go on a deeper discount. It might even end its discount before when the sale starts, or it'll continue into the sale at the same price. Just keep that in mind. As well, all these storefronts, Nintendo, Xbox, PlayStation, and Steam, they have sales throughout the year. And sometimes the prices vary too. Like sometimes the winter sale is not the lowest price for something. It might be, like, I think they have, around when Chinese New Year is the lunar sale. They have a lunar sale. Sometimes stuff goes on discount even cheaper, literally like a month later. So just keep in mind that there's sales all the time. Just games are going to new lows all the time. If you can't afford it now or don't want it now, like it's not your one chance out of the year during the holidays to get a game on discount. There'll be other sales throughout the year. I'm 100% certain of that. So, let me see here. Let me just look through this list of stuff we haven't covered yet. Oh, Lloyd, do you want to? This next thing is something you brought up, so I'll let you cover that.
Yeah, Zoe was just kind of hinting at it. Black Friday isn't like the be all end all day anymore. It's not, you don't get 24 hours or, sometimes stores and places have their doorbusters, but, with this kind of shift to digital, Cyber Monday was kind of, at least for me in my experience, sort of the beginning of opening up those sales windows. And that's traditionally the Monday after Black Friday. Just overall, sales typically can now last longer than a day. They can be anytime, November, December, New Year's, like Zoe just talked about, Lunar New Year. So if, the game you're tracking isn't on sale on Black Friday, there's other things you can look at, like maybe some of the gift card stuff we were talking about earlier. Like there's other things, and don't give up. If the game you are watching isn't on sale on Black Friday, that's not the end of the deal.
Yeah.
Keep an eye on it. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, like, sometimes too, like, a sale will, like, have, this is a very specific example, but Video Games Plus will spend, like, they'll have their sale on, they'll start Black Friday, and 90% of the games included in that sale will pretty much be on sale till January, like, early January after New Year's. And throughout that time, too, that window, they might, like, decrease the game price or like take a game off sale, but for the most part those games it's a constant like sale window, and they might change some things out, but it goes on the entire month. So if you're like, hey, the thing I want from this website or this place, I can't get free shipping on it, just wait a bit. If the game isn't like threatening to go out of stock or the sale doesn't have a timer on it, just like you could even message them and say like, hey, I really want this game and I know this other game might go on sale in a couple weeks. Do you think this sale will still be going on at that time? Or there'll be a restock of this game? Chances are they'll just tell you. These smaller websites, like, I don't want to call Video Games Plus small, but like compared to Best Buy, they are small. But like I've literally messaged them and said like, hey, this game I want is not on sale right now. Do you think you're going to discount it again in a couple weeks? And they're like, they might not say yes, but they might give you the little wink and be like, yeah, there's a good chance. So, don't like, if you're looking for that one extra cheap game to get the free shipping or whatever, and you don't want to spend the money on shipping because you want to get more bang for your buck, then like, just wait a little bit, and maybe something else you want will also go on sale that it turns out you wanted more than the game you wanted to get the free ship. You know what I mean? Like, just like little things like that. I'm a physical
Can I take
girl,
the next one?
So.
Oh,
yeah, for sure. Go for it.
Yeah. So discounts on subscriptions. Like game libraries, like we talked about Game Pass, PlayStation Plus. So keep an eye on those too. And I've personally found that sometimes subscription services are more likely to have a New Year sale, in my experience. Not necessarily maybe those two, but just like in general, subscription services tend to, maybe it's just what I've seen or not, but like kind of opening up your window on when you're looking for these sales and kind of like hanging on might be a good idea.
Yeah. Yeah, video games. Yeah, like it's also like, I think it's that gym membership mentality where everyone's like getting a membership for New Year's, and that just kind of bled into other industries as well, right? Like, oh, start your New Year right, get PlayStation Plus or whatever. And also some of those discounts too on stuff like Game Pass. If they even discount Game Pass and PS Plus this year, I don't know if they're going to at all, but if they do, you can guarantee it will not be the same kind of discounts we were seeing years ago, where it was like $60 normally, and now it's like $30 for the, like, it's not going to be that low anymore. Unfortunately, I think we've passed that point where we're getting really deep discounts, but thankfully all that stuff does stack. So like if there is a discounted price and you want to get a couple years worth, you can get, and you're like, I can afford right now to get a couple years of this and I want to get it for this price, you can stack that. I think Nintendo will stack, but Nintendo severely limits who can actually buy the discounted rate. There was a discount this year on the family plan, but it was for new subscribers only. So I could not get it for us, unfortunately. Ekamy, like I tried, like I looked in every possible loophole I could do, but it was just never going to work. So.
And this one was a surprise to me. Humble choice. I didn't realize this, but it's a game subscription where you keep the game. With like PlayStation Plus and everything, you can sort of like tag things added to your library, but there's certain things that do disappear. Like from like the retro gaming library and stuff that you stream, you lose that when you leave the service. So I didn't know Humble Choice was another good subscription service to keep an eye on.
Yeah, it's basically. It's a bundle every month that they, like a normal bundle they would do, except you subscribe to it and every month you get a set number of games, and I think every month they choose a new charity to donate that month's subscription to.
I might have to look into that. Wow. Okay.
It's really good, especially like I don't know if it's still going on, but I know I think very recently, like I think it was like $15 to $20 for the month, and you got like Story of Seasons, the new one, like the Grand Bazaar or whatever it was, like the latest Story of Seasons game was in there, and that's like a $90 game right now in Canada. It hasn't gone on sale very deeply, if at all. So like usually there'll be a couple games you don't want, but I think, and Caravan Sandwich was a queer game that was recently included as well. So like they're including queer games in those popular ones at least anyway. So yeah, Humble Choice is again, yeah. Do your research, obviously, but
adding that. I pulled up a tab on my to be like, Humble Choice. Gonna just look at that later.
I'm doing.
We have a mutual friend, Ekamy,
Ekamy,
we have a mutual friend who subscribes to it. If you want some feedback from this person, we can talk later. I'm not going to name them on the podcast just for privacy reasons, but and Lloyd, I can join you in that discussion as well.
Yeah, no, I'd be interested because I'm doing the math for leaving Xbox PC Game Pass because I've just kind of been hanging on, not really super into it for the recent price increase, and with that, it makes it at a similar level to what you just mentioned that the humble choice is at. So
yeah, and it gives you a Steam key. It gives you like a Steam key that is on your account forever. It's not temporary. Like
that's cool.
It's your key, like you could gift it if you wanted to, like you could like whatever, like it's a key. So like, I have this game already. Our mutual friend has given me games from the Humble Choice bundle. He said like, hey, I don't need this anymore. Like I have this game already, and I'm like, oh sure, I'll take it. Actually, I think he's given games to you as well.
I think I know who it is. Yeah.
Anyway, there's also, we've been talking about like waiting around for a sale, but like, there's the whole concept, and I think this was born on Reddit on Our Patient Gamers, but like being a patient gamer, waiting years for a game to drop on sale, like, I think our mutual friend also bought it for me as a Christmas gift last year, but I was waiting around for a Mass Effect Legendary Edition sale. And I think at a certain point, he purchased it for me, but I was waiting for like a really deep discount on it because I knew I wasn't going to play it right away. So there's no point in like getting it at full price. Right now, the game I'm waiting for is Baldur's Gate 3 because I know I'm not going to have the time to sink into it that I want to. So I'm happy to wait for a 50 or a 60% off discount on that. I've been watching. It's never gone below 25%, I think. But it's just like waiting years for a game that you don't need to play right away. Like I'm not talking like waiting till like the next sale in the spring. I'm talking about like waiting like I'm good waiting till 2028 for that game to drop to a price I'm happy to pay for it because I don't have the time to play it, right? As much as I'd like to support Baldur's Gate 3. So,
and that's
I think
good
it's a
too
realistic
for...
year.
No, I agree. I agree. With how popular Baldur's Gate 3 is, yes. It also gives you time to, like if you're, like one of the things that my partner and I usually wait for is if a game has a bunch of DLC, like it's a new game, it's going to have a bunch of DLC, then you can wait for like the complete version, and maybe that whole thing will go on sale. Like we recently bought, Assassin's Creed Valhalla complete, and that's been out for a few years. So, yeah.
Actually, you just made me realize something too. Sorry, I don't know why I thought of this now, but the Game Awards that happens every early December, sometimes there's a lot of sales around the Game Awards too, like specifically games that companies will be like, our game is being advertised heavily right now because it might win awards. We're going to drop it down a percentage. It's very difficult not to get caught up in the hype and the FOMO of it all. But if it's a game you were already thinking about buying and it's not an impulse, something to also think about too is like, hey, like if you're interested in Clair Obscur, I bet you there'll probably be a good discount on Clair Obscur, or not. They might not discount it at all because they know people are going to be hyped and not pay. But you know what I mean? Like things to like look out for is around the Game Awards. I think this year it's on December 11th. I want to say we will do an episode covering it, but at that point, the awards will have been over at that point. And Ekamy is legally bound to do that episode with me. She can't bail.
I have signed up. My soul is sold. Also, I just want to say, if anyone's thinking, if y'all like just like RPGs and just that style of gaming, and you're thinking you're even just a smidge, you're like, maybe I should try Expedition 33. Buy it immediately. It's so good. Like if it doesn't win a bunch of awards, I will be floored.
I think it will.
I'm sure it will. Yeah. Although interestingly, it didn't get any nominations at the Grammys, like for music, which I was
they specifically snubbed that. But
yeah, it was very weird. Although the composer did win an award recently, I think, for it, so that's good too.
I've noticed that non-gaming industries don't seem to take it serious. They go with the stuff with celebrities or the stuff that like normies would know, like non-gamers
Yeah.
would know, versus like
Yeah.
actually like, hey, Clair Obscur actually has the better, more thought out soundtrack than like these games. Not to say I don't even know what other games were nominated. I just saw that it got snubbed, but sometimes
Yeah.
they ignore games too. And even the Game Awards does it with their own segments too. Like they'll be like, all the Nintendo games are going in family games unless it's Zelda.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, anyway, I have one more message before we head out, but does anyone else have anything else to add or anything they want to note? Or okay. So we've been talking about a lot about sales, and obviously you need to spend your money how you want to spend it. It's your money. However you earned it, got it, whatever. I don't judge. I don't care. Like, you do what you want to do with your money. If you can't afford it, please do your best. Again, with the caveat that maybe you can't, but please try your best when you can to support indie queer devs at full price. A lot of the games that they list are generally less than 40 Canadian dollars. Like, I haven't seen an indie queer game from a queer dev that's like a small team of people that is ever very expensive, right? Like, if I hadn't been given keys this year from a lot of these big, very popular indie queer games, like, I probably would be buying them at full price anyway. I did recently buy, and I haven't played it yet. Sorry, Rocket Adrift, if you're listening to this, I haven't actually jumped in yet to your new game, but you did say there was a Steam Deck version coming, a proper, mod for Steam Deck or whatever. So I'm now waiting for that because I like my Steam Deck, and also I've just been so busy. But, like, that game, I don't think it was more than $10. So, like, waiting for a sale on a game like that felt silly to me because it's not that much to begin with. There was another game I had Chris Schreier on the show a few episodes ago. I believe it was episode 55. And his game, 3 Days to Chicago, is like I think it's $5 at full price.
Oh, wow. Yep.
Oh, wow.
And it was during the Steam Autumn sale that I bought it, and it wasn't on sale. Like, there was no discount on it. And you might be thinking, like, you might be sorting by discount. You might be going, like, well, it's not on sale, and I'm going to wait for a sale on it. Like, at a certain point, like, I think it's worth the $10, $15, $20. Like, if you're willing to pay $20 for Hollow Knight Silksong, I think you should pay the $20 or $5 or $30 for another queer indie game and support those devs, right? Again, spend your money how you will, but if you can, please heavily consider supporting queer indie devs at full price. They could use the support for sure at any time. And if you can't support them with paying them at full price and you need to wait for a sale, at least wishlist it, because wishlisting also helps with visibility for them as well, and reaching different ranks and getting themselves out there. So, and also just like they see a wish list, the number of wish lists they get, and it probably makes them feel good. A little dopamine hit of like, hey, I have a lot of people wishlisting my game right now. So I know I get a dopamine hit when I look at my small subscriber count, and I get really happy, even though it's like small by YouTube standards. I think it's pretty big and great that we have. I think it's 22 subscribers on YouTube, which is really nice.
That's
Considering
awesome.
we just started the video version.
Yeah.
It sounds like I'm belittling that a small number, but like I do get a dopamine hit whenever I get a like or a comment or whatever. So just remember that, like, most of the people behind the things you like, when it's not a massive, massive corporation, they're human beings. We all appreciate it. That includes the customer service rep that you're complaining to about whatever is wrong. It's not their fault. So, anyway, we've gone a little bit over time. That's fine. This is going to be an evergreen guide, and hopefully, we pray, we're not religious, but we pray that next year, nothing will have changed and the industry will be completely fine.
Yes.
It's totally stable.
No changes.
No changes at all. We won't be doing this in a year from now. Again. For the third time. But anyway, yeah. And if you have any questions for me, or you have something you want to note for me to add or whatever, like DM me, leave a comment, or you just like, hey Zoe, like, can I get your advice on this? Or hey, you just want to like geek out about the game you just picked up or whatever. Like, please, just like, I live for this. Like, I love collecting. I love playing games. I love the thrill of the hunt of a sale. Like, you can see from my eyes, I'm like, for audio listeners, don't tune in to see what face I just made. Anyway, Ekamy, Lloyd, do you have anything else to say before we head out?
No, I'm good.
This was
good
fun.
luck, everybody.
Yeah.
Okay. Where can people find you? Ekamy, go.
You can find me on Twitch and Blue Sky at Ekamy. That's EKAMY.
Lloyd, where can people find
Excellent.
you?
Yep. I'm Lloyd_Lloydster on YouTube, Twitch, and TikTok, and I'm Lloydster, all one word, on Blue Sky. So that's where I'm at.
Amazing. All right. Well, thank you both for joining me and for trekking through this with me. Appreciate it.
It was fun.
Thank you for having me.
And that just about wraps up this week's show. Thanks, True Avatars, for joining me for another episode of your Queer Video Game Podcast. By listening to the show, you are supporting queer-made content, which is more important than ever. If you want to support True Avatars, it would be really great if you could leave a comment, rating, or review on your preferred podcast platform. You can follow the show on Blue Sky, Twitter, Threads, TikTok, and YouTube under the handle @TrueAvatars, all one word, and on Facebook and Instagram under True Avatars. If you are watching on YouTube, please like, comment, and subscribe, as well as hit the notification bell so you can be the first to know when new content drops. I welcome you to check out the official website, trueavatarspodcast.com. That's all one word, trueavatarspodcast.com. On the website, you can sign up for the newsletter, where you can get exclusive news and updates on the show. Bye, True Avatars. Thank you so much for listening, and I look forward to speaking with you all again next week. Take care and stay safe.